All right, welcome to the Entrepreneur Insider Secrets podcast. Excited to be able to spend time with you again today. Today, we're going to be talking about something that is really, really important to everyone who's building an online business as a coach, course creator, trainer, or speaker. And what it really is it's pricing. And it is the art of pricing. It is the art of how do you price correctly? How do you price in such a way that you are going to get paid what you're worth and you don't have to live in fear of people saying no because you're too expensive, but also that you're going to be working for very little money all the time, because this is something that is a constant tension for entrepreneurs, especially those who are first starting out. You have one of these big struggles is when somebody first starts out and they're first working through things and they're first figuring things out. They know that they haven't been doing this for 10 years. They know that they haven't been doing this for for a long period of time. They're just getting started out, and they know what it's like, especially as a new business owner, to be watching your expenses, to be carefully managing how much things cost. And they know that that is a common thing for other people. That is a common thing for individuals all around the world, to be watching their expenses. And so people try to be sensitive to that, and they try and be very, very cautious not to overcharge too much, not to put too high of a price on things, because people look at it and go, I can't afford that, I can't do that. And they won't get clients. And especially in the beginning, what's one of your biggest fears when you start a new business? Frankly, you won't get clients. You won't get a client. What a horrible way to run a business. You got this dream, you want to put everything out there, you're going all in, you're doing all these things, and the result is people say no, and you end up doing all this work with no clients. And so what tends to happen is people tend to undercharge. People charge less than what they're worth. They charge a much lower rate than the value that they're delivering, than what they're really worth. And again, as a result, they end up working and working and working, and at the end of the day, not getting paid a lot of money. They do all these amazing things. They provide all these amazing services. They do all this great stuff. But when it's all said and done, what they're walking away with isn't a lot. They're not walking away with a great reward. They're not walking away with a fat bank account. They're not walking away with financial freedom. What they're walking away with is exhaustion, because they're working endlessly. They're killing themselves to try and serve their clients, because they're good people and they want to do a good job for their clients, and they want their clients to get good results, and they want their clients to be happy. All very good things, all wonderful, excellent attributes of what I see in so many new entrepreneurs. They come in and their hearts are in the right place, and I don't want to take advantage of people. I don't want to overcharge people. I don't want to do that. So their prices are many times ridiculously low. Their prices many times are just at the bottom. And as a result, they're working themselves into the ground, and their bank account always stays at rock bottom, and they never move ahead, and they never make progress. And so I'm going to talk about some of this today. I'm going to deal with some of these mindset issues. I'm going to deal with some of the perspective and perception on these things, because I think it's really important to your success. It's really important to all of our success to be able to price our services in such a way that not only will people still want to buy them, but also so that you're going to get paid what you're worth, and you're going to earn an income that is fair, that you're going to earn an income that relates to the value that you're providing, to the amazing level of service and quality that you are putting out there, because you deserve that. If you're going to create this whole thing and you're going to build this whole business, or you're going to put all these things out there, then you deserve to be rewarded for that, because you could have gone and done something else, but instead you saw a need in the marketplace. You saw a problem that people were having. You saw an issue that people were struggling with, and you decided to do something about it. You decided to create a product or a service that's going to help people in need, that need help in this area, that need a solution. And you created it. And as a result, you deserve to get paid for that effort. You deserve to get paid for your work. There's value that you've created. And as a result of creating that value, there should be compensation. And here's some of the things that I want to do. And one of the first things I want to address head on is too many times people think that if they charge low prices, it's going to equal more clients. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, that is false. That we have tested out a number of different pricing options. We have tested out a number of different pricing models. And one of the things that I've learned very, very clearly is that the race to the bottom, so to speak, which is how can I charge less? How can I make this more affordable? How can I make this more economical? How can I make this more easily affordable? Chasing down that path, chasing down that stream whereby you are always trying to, like, how can I make it cheaper? How can I make it cheaper? How can I make it cheaper? You're always going to be running a game that's going to be a loser. Here's what I know. We would run programs in all these years that I've done this. We would run programs where we would charge a couple $100 for an amazing service, a couple $100, and we would be providing unbelievable level of service to people. And then we would have programs where we would charge several $1,000s for the program. You know what the response was every single time? I can't afford it. Every time. It did not matter. No matter what we did, no matter what we charged, no matter what we put out there, the response was always the same. I can't afford this. It's too much money. It didn't matter if it was $100 or $10,000. People were going to whine and complain about the money. They're going to sit here and always say, it's not too much money. It's too much money. It doesn't matter. They're always going to do that. That response will always be there. We have offered some amazing deals and at unbelievably cheap prices, and people didn't move. And you realize at the end of the day, it's stupid to sit here and give away everything for nothing. It's foolish to work yourself so hard to build such amazing products and services and then give them away for pennies on the dollar. Why? Because here's the problem. What you're ultimately then attracting is people who don't value what you've done. People who don't value your expertise. People who don't value your talents, your gifts, your abilities. You're putting yourself out there, and you're kind of putting yourself out there on the auction block and saying, here I am. I've done all this amazing stuff to help you in your life. Will you buy me for $1? It's not a workable solution, because what you are communicating to the world is what I created really isn't that good. What I created really isn't that valuable. And as a result, I'm willing to sell it for nothing. And again, what ends up happening too is you attract the wrong type of client. You attract the type of client that is the complainer. You attract the type of client that is the excuse maker. The ones that are always sitting there going, it's so much money. I can't afford it. Woe is me. And you attract people who are focused on the expenses all the time. You're attracting people who are always focused on, I need to save money. I need to cut expenses, instead of attracting people who are trying to grow. And I've talked about this in past episodes, but I'm going to encapsulate it here again. When you do this, when you are doing these things, when you are putting your products out there and you're figuring out how to price them, ultimately what you're doing is you're declaring your value for something. You're putting your price on it and saying, this is what I will take for doing this service. And when you bring in people who don't appreciate it, when you bring in people who don't value what you've done, all you're doing is bringing in clients that are going to be complainers all the time. And these clients are always complaining about, well, I got to spend this much money. I'm going to spending that much money. Here's the deal. Clients that are always focused on, I'm spending too much money. Clients that are always focused on, this is an expense, are not clients that are focused on, how do I solve my problem? They're not focused on, how do I achieve my goal? They're clients that are always focused on, I gotta be cheap. The only way to survive is to be cheap and to not spend any money. These are not clients that, if you're a coach, when you're a coach, you're looking for people who want to grow, right? You're looking for people who want to become something more than what they are today. You're looking for people who want to achieve something greater than what they've achieved to this point in their life. They want to expand. They want to go beyond. They want to do something further. And as a result, those people who are in that place realize that for me to go from where I am to where I'm going to be, I have to invest in myself. I have to grow myself. I have to go and I have to do something to build myself. I have to acquire new skills. I have to acquire new knowledge. I have to acquire new understanding if I'm going to get to where I want to go. I'm going to have to build myself up. As a result, I can't do that if I stay where I am. That is the client that you are after. That is the client that you want if you are selling courses, if you're selling coaching, if you want to go and do speaking and training opportunities. These are the ones that, if you're going into an organization, they're never, if the person in the organization goes, well, I got $1,000 to spend on my training budget for the whole year, and I have to pull in 3 speakers, so I could pay you $300. Okay. That's not the organization you want to be training or speaking at, because they're only focused on, I have to stay within my budget. They're not focused on, hey, we as an organization need to get better at this, and we have to figure out how to grow and improve and become better than what we are. So we're going to have to find a way to come up with the money to invest in our company, to invest in ourselves as individuals, to get to where it is that we want to go. The same is true with all of your clients. The ones that you want are not the people who are in charge or worried about their spending. The ones that you want are the ones that are concerned with their growth. Because you can either be a spender or you can be an investor. Those are 2 very different approaches. Both of them put money out into the world. Both of those are expending money. But the spender will go out and they will waste money on almost anything. You know, and I've shared this story in the past, and again, it's has always stuck with me. Early days, very early on in the days when I was first building my business, the first one, and we were working with people, and we had this new program, and somebody that we were working with came and begged and pleaded with us to let them in the program for free because they had no money and they were broke and they couldn't afford it, but they so wanted to be in it. So we let them in. We let them get to us and we let them in the program. We let them join. And so here we are doing all this work for them for free. And if I could go back and hit myself with a stick, I would. But at that time, you know, I didn't have the confidence. We didn't have the internal strength to say, stop, to say, enough, don't do it. And so what we did was we ended up going out and doing this in such a way that, hey, you know, we're giving away our services for free. And we thought, all right, we're doing it for a good cause. We're helping this individual out. They're really in need. And then 2-3 weeks later, I'm on Facebook, you know, like a lot of people were, and I'm just scrolling around my feed, just wasting a few minutes of time, just relaxing. And I see a picture of this individual. And this individual is posting pictures from Florida. And I'm going, That's interesting. They are on vacation down at a nice resort on a beach in Florida. And at that point in my life, this is a lot of years ago, I didn't have the excess cash flow to go on a vacation to Florida. I didn't have that resource sitting there for me to go there. And the person who stood there looked me in the face and said, I can't afford it. I can't give you any money. I have no resources. Is now sitting on a nice beach, staying at a nice resort on a nice vacation, and had money for that. It was a hard lesson for me to learn in my life because I had to come to grips with the fact that people will lie, that people will stare you straight in the face and be dishonest to you. It will not and will not always tell you the truth. So what ended up happening, what ended up going on was I had to learn a hard lesson. Is this person had money to spend on things like fun, but they apparently didn't have money to invest on growing themselves. They wanted me to do all the work on growing them for free. To which I learned a hard lesson and said, you know what? You don't go to your job and you don't go to your employer and say, hey, I'm just going to work for you for free. I'm just going to work for you and you don't need to pay me. You don't need to compensate me. You don't need to give me anything. You don't need to, give me any resources. It's okay. I'll just come in here. I'll put in my 40 hours a week and you don't have to give me anything. I don't see anybody doing that. In fact, if that individual or similar individuals who are always concerned with expenses and money out, if they went to a job and didn't get paid, they would scream bloody murder and they would quit the job immediately. And yet these same individuals are also the ones coming to you, wanting you to provide your services to them for either next to nothing or for free. At the end of the day, what you have to come to grips with is these are not the clients you want. That there are good clients out there. There are clients who look at this and say, hey, I fully grasp and understand that if I want this done, I have to spend some money to get there. I have to invest in myself. I have to invest in what I'm doing. I have to be willing to spend the money to grow myself to get to where I want to go. There are people out there 100% who will do that, who will 100% understand that process. And then the price for them isn't as big of a deal because now they're just like, okay, what do I need to come up with to be able to make this happen? And so that's why you don't give away your stuff for next to nothing. That's why you don't charge next to nothing for your services, because those people, yes, if it's $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000, the end of the day, they're just going to find a way to come up with the money because they recognize the value of what it is that you're doing. And that brings me to my second point. The price that you choose to charge for your services needs to be anchored on the transformation that you provide, not around your level of experience, not around how long have you been doing it, not around how much does it cost you to provide the service, how many hours does it take. No, the price needs to be based on the transformation that you provide in their life. It needs to be based on how big of a difference are you making for them? How much of a transformation and change are you making in their life? And if that transformation is small, your ability to charge a bigger price is more difficult. If you're teaching somebody how to ride a bicycle, you're going to have a hard time charging for that because anybody knows that they can go on YouTube and watch a video on how to ride a bike for free. They can go and do all these other things. But if you're teaching somebody how to take an idea and turn it into a business that will forever change their life, that will forever bring them clients, that will give them financial freedom, that will give them lifestyle freedom, that will give them a life that they've been dreaming about, to do work that they love, serving their clients that they love to work with, breaking them free from the corporate hierarchy, from that structure of being able to be stuck in there. That's huge. The value of that is a huge transformation in their life. The value of that is massive. So the value of the pricing that you could choose to charge is significantly higher. There is a direct correlation. It doesn't matter if you've done it for 10 years or you're just getting started out. The only answer is, can you deliver the result? That's the only question. It doesn't matter how well known you are, how many years you've been doing it, how experienced you are. The answer is, can you deliver the result? If you can, and you can say confidently, hey, yep, I know I can. I know I can, and I know I can get you this outcome. I know I can get you this result. It doesn't matter. If you've ever thought about this, you go to a furniture store and you're like, I need to buy, a new sofa or a new dining room table, whatever, a kitchen table, whatever it may be. You have something that you're going in and you're like, okay, we need a new thing. And we all know that when you go to a furniture store, they have salespeople, they follow you around, ask you questions, try and show you the things that they have. Do you ever stop and say, should I buy this table from this individual? They look like they're fairly new. They look like they haven't been selling furniture for many years. They look like they may not have, a lifetime of experience. They're in their 20s. They're probably pretty new at this. Do you ever say that? No, I never have. It doesn't make any difference to me at all. All I'm saying is, can this person help me find the piece of furniture that's right for our needs? We just went to a computer store here locally in Columbus, and it's a much more of a niche type technology store. And it's not like the big box stores, which are just, I don't go to them anymore because I hate them. And the people that work there don't know what they're talking about. They're not helpful. But last night, once again, my son and I went to this computer store, and because we were looking for something, I needed an external hard drive. And so we go there, and they have a case in the display of all the different hard drives that they have there. And one of the people who works that area comes up, hey, can I help you? Like, yeah. And we just had a few questions. And the guy literally just stood there and helped me by basically asking, are you doing this or are you doing that? Is this more important or is that more important? And by just a few questions, he knew exactly, yep, I would buy one of these right here. This is going to be the best fit for your needs, for what you're doing, for what you're looking for. And it was it. It was a simple. It didn't matter to me how old he was. It didn't matter to me how much experience he had. He could point me in the direction that solved my problem. He was there. He helped me, and he just clearly said, okay, right here, this is the one for you. Great. Here you go. Done. And I was happy as a clam. Could have cared less how experienced he was. Couldn't have cared less how long he had been working at that store. He knew how to help me get to a solution, and he helped guide me to the right solution for me. It's the same for your clients when you are marketing yourself as a service provider. If you're selling yourself out there for your coaching services and you're putting yourself out there, it matters very little. All they're looking at is, do I believe that I'm going to get the result that I'm after? Do I believe that I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve? Because if I do, I think I have something here. I think I have something that works. I think I have something that makes sense. I think I have something that is going to get me the result that I'm after. I'm going to solve this problem that I'm facing, or I'm going to achieve the goal that I have for my life. That's all that matters. Okay, now how do I come up with the money to get it done? We all have those things. Like, we had some landscaping work in my house that needed to be done. We had some trees that were dying, whole planting bed that essentially needed to be ripped out and replanted with new bushes and new trees and all these things. And I was like, I'm like, me sitting out here with my chainsaw trying to cut all these trees down and dispose of everything and ripping all the bushes out and digging the roots out. And I'm like, oh Lord, this is just going to be awful. And grinding the stumps. And a guy that I know just does this. He's like, we can have it done like this, and we can have it done just no problem, really fast, super easy. Okay. And yet, and he made it, and he made it so super easy for me to get the solution done. So super easy to take care of the problem. And I didn't have to do anything except I just had to figure out how to come up with the money for it. And his price wasn't cheap. He made good money on that job, I can assure you. But I looked at it and said, this is what I want. He's solving my problem, getting me what I need. I just have to find a way to come up with the money. Your clients are thinking the same thing. So last thing is that the last point we want to talk about on all this is you got to communicate your value with confidence. The only thing now that's going to destroy your ability to charge prices that are going to pay you what you're worth is your ability to say confidently, yes, I can help you get the solution. Like if I met that guy at the computer store last night and he was like, well, I'm not really sure. I think maybe this might be the right answer. I think this is a good brand, but I'm not really sure. And I'm not really confident in my answers. I would have not trusted him to help me. You have to be able to speak your value with confidence. You need to be able to look at your future client and say, oh, heck yeah, I can get that done for you. I absolutely can solve this problem for you. This is no issue whatsoever. I can 100% take care of this for you. Not a problem. Because if you're not confident in your ability to achieve the desired results, your client will never have that confidence in you. Your client will always look at you and go, yeah, I don't know that, this is not necessarily going to get me the result that I'm after. And because it's not necessarily going to get me the result that I'm after, and I don't think they believe that that they can deliver the result, then I'm definitely not going to invest in this. The reason your clients are going to invest in this and invest in you as their coach or buy your course or whatever is they need to have that high degree of confidence that you can deliver the result. They're going to need to look at you and be able to say, oh, I know this will work. I need to go in with this person and I need to know in my heart this will work. And now the money is what the money is. I'll have to find a way to come up with it. But I know that if I hire this individual to be my coach, I know if I hire this individual to do this service for me, I'm going to get what I need. I have that confidence. So when you discuss your pricing, when you discuss the value that you provide, when you discuss the services that you provide as a coach or a course creator, speaker, or trainer, you need to speak with confidence in your ability to get a result. You need to be 100% convinced that you can get the result that your client wants. And I've, again, said this many times in the past, the first person you always need to sell on your services is you. You need to be ultimately convinced that the value that you provide is insane for the price that you're selling it for, no matter what the price is. You need to be able to look at that and go, wow, this is incredible. This is amazing. We are giving you 10, 20, 30 times value of what you're actually spending. And I can say it without even the hint of not being genuine. I can say this without even a hint of being dishonest. I know that what we're giving you is incredible. I know that what we're giving you is insanely good. And I can say without even blinking an eye that the price that we're charging is well worth what we're giving you. And when you get to that confidence, when you get to that place, of certainty, your future client senses it. Just like the guy at the computer store last night, he spoke with clarity and confidence. Yep, these are if you want a hard drive like this is, these hard drives are for these types of circumstances and situations. These are for those situations. This is for this. What is your need? Okay, so then these are the best ones for you. He spoke with clarity and confidence, and as a result, it made perfect sense in my head. The buying decision was easy. It was bang, bang, bang. Do it. We're done. Let's go. And problem was solved. Everything was taken care of. So just to wrap everything up, first of all, get over your own fears. Let go your fears and let go of the negative mindset that says, the only way I'm going to get clients is I have to keep everything super, super cheap. Untrue. In fact, you're probably attracting the wrong type of clients that aren't going to value your services. Number two, anchor your price in transformation. not how many hours it takes, not in how much work it is, not in all the things that you're doing. Anchor your price in the outcome that you're generating for the individuals. And lastly, communicate everything that you're of your value, all the things that you're doing with confidence, so that the person on the other side truly believes and has full confidence in themselves that you can deliver the desired result. You do that, you will be able to charge prices that are going to pay you what you're worth. You're going to be able to charge prices that are going to get you in a place where you can truly make enough income that's going to satisfy your needs and allow you to achieve that financial freedom, allow you to hit those financial goals, allow you to build a business that isn't always making you work and barely surviving. It's going to allow you to develop breathing room. It's going to allow you to truly succeed. So that's everything I got for you today on this topic. I hope you have an amazing day. If you have any questions, as always, check out designlaunchgrow.com. We would love to talk with you and help you build your business and help you be successful and achieve the life that you want. Otherwise, I will talk to you again in the very next episode. Take care, everybody.